I can only assume, I think a reasonable person would assume, that there were entities at Funimation that did not like me for whatever reason and wanted me gone, did not want me to play the character Broly that I'd been playing for 15 years. And so to ask me the question, your question was who at Funimation would do that?
Well, when you
I think it's been established there are people at Funimation that don't like me much and wanted me gone.
Well, when you say that there are people at Funimation who don't like you much and wanted you gone, who are you referring to specifically?
Chris Sabat.
Is he a Funimation employee?
I would say he has a great deal of weight at Funimation. A great deal of weight. And I mean, yes, he is probably. Funimation outsources production to his studio. Chris Sabat has been involved with Funimation since Funimation was in the Frost Bank building on 820 when I started working there. So Chris Sabat, for one.
Well, it appears that something big is looming over the horizon, as stated by Vic Mignogna. Fellow colleague Chris Sabat, according to Vic, never liked Vic and never wanted him to be there. But what does this mean going forward, as we are going to be talking about this and something very interesting that Nick Rekieta had said during Vic's deposition involving a specific voice actor, to which he will not mention at this time now, but may in the near future, in regards to allegations made against them, along with being banned from several conventions in which Nick has information on. As once more, before we begin, if you are new to this channel and want to be kept up to date with all things involving Vic Mignogna, Monica Rial, Ron Toye, and many of the news and updates involving the Vic Mignogna case, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. Be sure to go on ahead and slap a like down below by giving this video a big thumbs up if you guys do stand with Vic, as well as making sure to check out and subscribe to my main channel over at UnrealNetwork, and follow me at Twitter at UnrealNetwork to stay connected with me at all times. And if you have anything you would like to share or tag me in involving Vic Mignogna or any of the parties involved in this case, then be sure to go on ahead and follow me at Twitter. Quick little shameless plug, nothing wrong with promoting social media here, as of course I do also encourage you guys to support Vic Mignogna's GoFundMe. Link will be located down below. Christopher Sabat, what is going on, you may ask? Well, I'm going to show you guys a clip from Vic's deposition to when asked about if Vic was the only person accused of something heinous behind the scenes. Vic went along ahead to say no, and alluded to something very interesting to where I will be showing you guys right now.
However, numerous allegations of sexual assault have shadowed Mignogna's career and continue up to today. During the research for this article, over 100 independent allegations surfaced dating back to 2013. You agree with that statement?
No, sir.
You don't think that there's been numerous allegations of assault?
It didn't say numerous, it says over 100. I don't agree with that. I've not seen a list of 100 names.
Does it make a difference to you if it's 100 names or 10?
Yeah, makes a difference to them. That's why they said 100. It sounds much more impressive.
Objection non-responsive. Does it make a difference to you if you're accused of 10 allegations of sexual assault, or just 100 or 100? Does it make a difference?
Yes, it does.
And why does it make a difference?
Because in a world of 4 billion people, there are going to be people that don't like you for whatever reason or have a problem with you, and the more people there are, the more troubling it is.
Are you aware of any other voice actors that have had numerous allegations of improper behavior against them? Like who?
I'm not going to name them.
Fair enough. So you're not the only one?
No, sir.
Did you hear that? Now, just in case you missed it, I'm going to play this one more time, and I want you guys to pay very close attention to not only Vic's demeanor, but also the question asked along with the answer given by Vic himself. Take a look and pay very close attention.
Are you aware of any other voice actors that have had numerous allegations of improper behavior against them? Like who?
I'm not going to name them.
Fair enough. So you're not the only one?
No, sir.
Funny story. I can't tell you what con. I can't tell you what con, and I can't tell you what year. Yet. But let's just say, one con that Vic has been accused of being banned from, which he was not banned from. A certain Chris Sabat allegedly was banned from. For what was Chris Sabat banned from that con for? I won't say the con, and I won't say the year yet. But Chris Sabat, were you banned from a convention for inappropriate conversations with underage cosplayers? Oh, God, that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it, Chris? I won't say the con and I won't say the year, but at some point, maybe I will. Alright, let's go on.
Now, for Vic to be the only person at Funimation during that time to be accused of doing something so heinous as to hug, kiss, grope, pull on hair, whatever the case may be, it is inferred here that behind the scenes there are certain things going about, certain conversations having to be spread about other fellow voice actors within the industry that also have some skeletons in their closet. Again, we know that after Vic Mignogna had said during his deposition, he personally felt that Chris Sabat had never liked him. Now, I personally don't have a problem with Chris, nor do I think many other people do, but there are certain people that do suspect of Chris having to do some very shady things behind the scenes, along with certain things that have been kept within the industry itself, stories involving Chris that have not been made public yet. And according to Nick, he knows something of someone that had been in trouble before for something very similar in terms of an accusation. Now, whether or not Nick is going to tell us is completely up in the air, but what we do know from Vic is that Vic feels that Christopher Sabat, alongside many other people, are solely responsible for tarnishing his credibility and making him out to be this monster out of the blue once Dragon Ball Super Broly initially came out. But there is more. Check this out.
My memory of the event with Jamie was that I had come in to record one day at Funimation, and I was in the lobby, and she was there, and she had just changed her hair somehow. She was wearing it differently, or she had cut it somehow, probably as far away as I am from Casey. And she said, "Hey, hon," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair." And she's like, "I know, I just got it." And I walked around the counter, and I was kind of standing there, kind of flipping it, and like, "Oh my gosh, it's really beautiful. I love it." And I put my hand up in the bottom of it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is great." It was not painful. It was not hurtful. It was not sexual. And it happened at least 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer. And if I may say, I saw Jamie in the lobby at Funimation in January of this year, literally a week to 10 days before this social media thing started. And she's like, "Hey, hon," and went over and hugged her and said hello. She and I have had, as far as I've known, a very casual, friendly relationship for many, many years. And I was astounded.
So according to Vic, it looks like Jamie and him did have an established friendship, or at least something on the mutual lines of saying hello, goodbye, and out of the blue, for Jamie to do this, I've noticed in the comments section of a lot of videos that a lot of people are pointing out that this incident seems to be very sudden. All of a sudden, all of these collective people come together and they fabricate this story in attacking one man for essentially either incidences that have happened many, many years ago, or something of a recollection of him having to pull hair or simply feel uncomfortable around. And I've seen many people propose the idea that this was a collective attack that was orchestrated behind the scenes prior to take this man down for essentially, of course, unknown reasons. Whatever reasons they have to be are very subjective. But according to Vic, and it appeared that Vic genuinely did care about his friendship with said individual, but once again, we don't know why Jamie had come out by having to claim she felt uncomfortable, she felt assaulted just by hair compliments or having to touch someone's hair per se. It's not like the man literally pulled his pants down and started assaulting her from there. No, it's just a matter of perception, and she perceived Vic in this case to be an absolute monster for the smallest of things. Now, should you go along the way to touch someone you don't know, and or know for that matter? No, you should always keep your hands to yourselves. Of course, unless it's your significant other, your husband, your wife, whatever the case may be. But in this case, yes, I do believe that you should keep your hands to yourselves. However, for minute things such as this, it is absolutely egregious to go along the lines of trying to tarnish and ruin a man's career just because you felt uncomfortable.
My belief is that date was chosen to piggyback on the popularity of the Broly movie. There has been a recurring theme here. Over the years, anytime I am announced as part of a big new show or playing a role, there are always a handful of people that want to jump on that publicity and get some attention for themselves.
And that is exactly what happened in January once Dragon Ball Super Broly came out. And one can only wonder, right? Let's just say, for example, if this never happened, could this, in theory, have increased the sales of Dragon Ball Super Broly? Could this have helped if this was kept behind the scenes and settled privately, perhaps? Maybe. But then again, going forward, I just want to go on ahead and say that I don't think that Funimation is going to be bringing back Vic Mignogna. Let's just say, in theory, if Dragon Ball Super does come back this year or does come back next year, which we do know, keep in mind, Dragon Ball Super is going to have another big movie set for the year 2020, which of course is next year. So with the show looming around the corner and a brand new movie on the horizon, does this mean that Broly is going to come back? And let's say, in theory, if Broly does return in the Dragon Ball Super series or in the next movie, that does not mean that in any kind of way they're going to be recasting Vic as Broly. So if you're a fan of Vic and you're expecting to see Vic come back to play the role of Broly in the future, that's not going to happen, as I'm fairly certain that Funimation is indefinitely going to be replacing him for somebody else if the Broly character comes back within the show. It sucks for a lot of people, especially for those that have watched Dragon Ball all throughout their childhood with the Dragon Ball Z movies of the first two Broly movies, and then having Bio Broly, including Dragon Ball Super Broly. If you're expecting to see Vic Mignogna come back in the future, I hate to break it to you, but Dragon Ball Super Broly is more than likely the last time you will ever hear Vic Mignogna as the original Broly. But we have so much more to discuss on the next few sets of videos, guys. I am going to be dropping another highlight video for you guys to sit back and enjoy, and I want to get your thoughts in the comments, guys. Engagements do help out a lot, so be sure to hit this video up with a like, and make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more news, information, and updates. And if by some chance you guys are interested in movies such as Star Wars or Halloween or Dragon Ball or anything like that, I do make videos of that sort, including Marvel, DC, stuff like that, so be sure to go on ahead and check out my previous videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, as I'm going to leave you guys with a few clips from the deposition. So again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and without wasting any more time, let's go on ahead and jump straight into it. Take it easy, guys.
You kind of apologize in that letter to people you've made feel uncomfortable. I mean, was there anybody in particular you were thinking, or was that just more of a generic?
No, it was generic. It was the idea of somebody that I might have hugged for a photo that didn't say anything at the time, but of course they went home and posted about how they didn't appreciate it or something, and I apologize to those people for not being sensitive to that.
Now, were there allegations floating around after January 16, 2019 that you were a pedophile?
Well, people have been throwing that word around for, you know,
For what?
well, just for a while.
About you?
Yes.
For how long?
I don't know.
I mean, when's the first time you can recall?
I don't recall. Like I said, there are people out there that see me hugging someone for a photo in front of 300 other people and 25 video cameras. It's purely for the photo, and they decide somehow that I'm a pedophile. There is no evidence of that. There's no proof of it. There are no charges. There are no convictions. Well, first of all, I don't believe they really had any legitimate reason to do what they did. After the conversation ended with Miss Denbo, I honestly believed that when they called me back, they were going to say, you're on some kind of probation for a year, you know what I mean? And if we have any other complaints, then, you know what I mean? That's really what I thought would happen. So when they terminated me, I was surprised, to say the least. And the last thing she said was, like I mentioned earlier, we're not going to be making any public statements. And then a week later, roughly, a week or 10 days later, Funimation, someone at Funimation, from Funimation's account, tweeted that I was being replaced, and they continued to tweet that they don't condone sexual harassment, which, any reasonable person would infer that that's what they were terminating me for. And that did an enormous amount of damage.